Good afternoon. Well, I'm here with Jane Martin, who is the Chair of the Legal Services Consumer Panel. Thanks very much for talking to Regulation Matters this afternoon, Jane. Could you tell us a little bit how long you've been in your role, what it's about, and a little bit about your background?
Sure, yes. Well, I'm relatively new. I started in this role as Chair in January this year, following on from Elizabeth Davis, who'd been in the role for quite a few years and did a very good job. And so my job really is to make sure that the Consumer Panel operates effectively, and to chair, we have a monthly meeting, to chair those meetings, and to liaise with some of the key stakeholders, such as CILEx and others. My background is that I've just finished 7 years as local government ombudsman. So I've seen what it's like for people when things go wrong, in my case with local authorities. And I feel very passionately about redress and making sure people know where to go if they want to get things put right.
Okay, great. And in simple terms, what is the Legal Services Consumer Panel there for? Who's it there for?
Well, the Consumer Panel is permanent, it's independent, and it's part of the statutory framework. So it is very much part of how we regulate legal services. We cover England and Wales, of course, and we're there really, I suppose, to be like a critical friend, I would say, representing the consumer interest and to make sure that the market in legal services actually benefits consumers and isn't detrimental to consumers. Our vision really is to make sure that the regulation, so the work that the regulators do and the work that the Legal Services Board does, is very much led by the needs of consumers and the needs of those who use the service.
Okay, thank you. So you just mentioned the Legal Services Board. What is your relationship to them?
Well, we provide advice and guidance to the Legal Services Board. We report our annual report to them every year. And again, I suppose, really to sort of repeat what I said, it's the critical friend role, really. The Legal Services Board is the overarching regulator, and so I want to make sure that the voice of the consumer and the people we have on our panel and the research that we do informs the regulation.
Okay, great. And thinking about your the Consumer Panel strategy, what is the key focus? You've talked about making sure there's no detriment there to consumers from the regulatory framework. Is there anything else that's key within that strategy?
Our strategy really is about helping to empower consumers so that they can both effectively choose legal services and effectively use legal services. And so a lot of the work we've done looks at different segments. So, for example, our annual tracker survey this year has looked at black and ethnic minority users of legal services to try to understand what are the issues for them. And we're very pleased to have been supporting the Competition and Markets Authority work, which is just looking at transformation, looking at how those who are providing legal services make sure that their consumers are informed. So it's transparency about price and cost and all of those things. And we want to make sure that as the regulators are implementing some of those recommendations, that we're there helping to make sure that those are done effectively.
And you obviously got a small team behind you, very small team.
Yeah.
How do you use those resources to bring about change? I guess it's quite a challenging strategy.
It is a challenging strategy. I mean, every one of the panel members are selected for their expertise and knowledge and understanding of different aspects of consumer law, consumer affairs. So they bring a huge amount to the table, and we're very hands-on as a panel, so we all help out and make a contribution. As you say, we have a very small secretariat, and so we work with others, particularly on, for example, the annual tracker survey, which provides a lot of our data. But we also do other bespoke pieces of work, supported by colleagues around LSB. But often a lot of that is desktop, looking at comparing what happens in legal services with other services. So we're very efficient ourselves, and we have to be, because we know that we're using money from the sector.
Okay, great. And you talked about the tracker survey, so that's an evidence-based survey, isn't it, that shows trends in a particular direction?
It is. We've been doing that for 6 years now, so it's a really good database, and we look at around about 4,000 people, some of whom particularly use legal services. We do it in conjunction with YouGov, the polling people, and we've had some very strong data back, such as looking at the importance of reputation, for example, when people are choosing services. But yeah, absolutely, we want to look at the evidence. So it's not just about what those of us around the table want to contribute, it's looking at a much more wider evidence base so that we can help to inform what regulators are doing.
Great. And where next for the consumer panel? What's your keep doing the same, or got something new up your sleeve?
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, when I joined the consumer panel in January, you know, I could see that it had made a very good start and has a very good reputation actually amongst the regulatory community. So we're going to carry on doing the research. We think that's really important, and we're just going to keep focusing on what really helps consumers choose and use legal services.
Great. Thank you very much for your time, Jane.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.